Every path we walk holds secrets. Some are in plain sight, some are waiting to be discovered. What if, on an ordinary day, you stumbled upon something extraordinary? An unknown place, shrouded in mystery and power. Not long ago, I found such a place. Deep in the woods behind my house, an ancient well called to me. And when I touched it, everything changed. It was some kind of portal, some kind of looking glass into Aldarion. A world of light and shadow, of choices and consequences. A world that feels closer to our own than you might think. Through that well, I see it all happening. Now, today, as we speak. These are their stories, their destinies, and I am here to share them with you. So come with me, my friends. Join me in this journey beyond the well. The Firelight Dare. In the year of 1318, the village of Eryndale lay nestled in the valley where the mighty Verathen River carved its path through the Lovakian Highlands. Here the winds whispered through the tall pines, carrying with them the scent of damp earth and wood smoke. The people of Eryndale were a sturdy folk, farmers, hunters, traders who knew the value of hard work and honesty. It was a quiet place, save for the rowdy laughter of children who, despite their chores, always found time for adventure. One of these children was Roran of Eryndale, a boy of 13 summers. He had dark curls that never stayed in place and sharp, clever eyes that saw more than he let on. He was neither the strongest nor the fastest among the village boys, but he had a quiet determination, a resolve that set him apart in ways he didn't even yet understand. One crisp autumn evening, as the first hint of frost kissed the grass, Roran found himself among a group of village boys gathered at the outskirts of town. They had built a small fire beneath the sprawling limbs of an old ash tree, its twisted roots breaking through the soil like the bones of the earth itself. Shadows flickered against the trunks of the nearby woods, and the air buzzed with the thrill of whispered dares and half-truths. "I bet none of you have the guts to go into the ruins of Varosk," said Cedric, the tallest and most brazen of the group. He was the son of the village's tannery master, broad-shouldered and always eager to prove himself. The ruins of Varosk lay a mile beyond the village, where the forest thickened into a dark tangle of gnarled branches and ancient stone. Once a proud Lovakian outpost from the old wars, it had long since crumbled, leaving only hollowed towers and broken walls. The elders forbade children from wandering there, whispering of spirits that lingered in the stones, of things best left undisturbed. The boys hesitated, shifting where they sat. They had all heard the stories. "I'll go," boasted Cedric, "but only if one of you else does as well." His gaze swept over the circle, eyes glinting in the firelight. "Roran!" The others turned to look at him. The weight of the expectation settled on his shoulders. Roran didn't answer immediately. He felt a prickle of unease creep up his spine. It wasn't fear of the spirits that held him back. It was something deeper, something unspoken that stirred within him. He had always believed in honor, the words his father had taught him. Do what is right, even when no one sees you. The ruins weren't just a forbidden place because they were dangerous. They were the place of the dead, a place meant to be left in peace. Cedric smirked. "What's wrong, Roran? Afraid of ghosts?" The others chuckled, some nudging at each other. Roran took a slow breath and straightened his shoulders. "No," he said calmly, "but I won't go." The laughter faltered. "Why not?" Cedric scoffed. "Afraid you get lost?" "It isn't right," Roran said, his voice steady. "The elders say we should leave it as be." Cedric rolled his eyes. "And since when do you care what the elders say?" Roran met his gaze without flinching. "Since I learned to listen." The fire crackled, filling the silence that followed. The other boys shifted uneasily. Some of them, Roran knew, had felt the same hesitation but were unwilling to speak it aloud. Cedric shook his head in mock disappointment. "Fine. Stay like a coward. The rest of us will go." One by one, the boys rose and followed Cedric into the night. Roran watched them disappear into the trees, his gut twisting. He had made his choice, but doubt gnawed at him. Had he done the right thing? Would they be safe? He lingered by the fire a while longer, staring into the flames. Then, just as he decided to leave, a voice from behind spoke. "You've got a strong heart, boy." Roran spun around. Standing at the edge of the fire's glow was an old man, his face lined with years, his cloak heavy with the scent of pine and earth. It was old Derek, the village's reclusive woodsman. He rarely spoke to anyone, spending most of his days wandering in the highlands. "You saw that?" Roran asked, still tense. Derek nodded, stepping closer. "Aye, and I reckon you did right." "They think I'm a coward." Derek chuckled, settling onto a nearby log. "There's a difference between fear and wisdom, lad. Fear is running from a fight. Wisdom is knowing which fights are worth running from." Roran frowned, staring into the fire. "I just didn't want to do something I knew was wrong." "And that," Derek said, nodding approvingly, "is what sets men apart from fools." They sat in silence for a moment, the firelight casting flickering patterns across their faces. Then Derek's expression grew more serious. "The ruins of Varosk aren't just old stones. There's something else there. Something that doesn't belong in this world. The elders warn against it because, well, they've seen what happens to those who don't listen." Roran shivered, but not from the cold. "Do you think they'll be all right?" Derek sighed. "I hope so." He placed a hand on Roran's shoulder. "But you, lad, you made a choice tonight, a good one, and that choice will shape you more than you know." Roran swallowed hard. Uncertainty still swirled in his chest, but as he looked into the old man's knowing eyes, he felt something shift within him. He had stood his ground. He had chosen what was right over what was easy. And maybe, just maybe, that was its own kind of bravery. The wind whispered through the trees, and somewhere in the distance the call of an owl echoed in the night. Roran stood, his heart a little steadier, and started the long walk home, leaving the fire behind him to burn away into the shadows. As he reached the village path, a scream echoed through the night from the direction of the ruins. Roran froze. The sound was distant, swallowed quickly by the wind, but it had been real. He glanced back to where old Derek still sat by the fire. The old man's gaze was fixed on the distant woods, his expression unreadable. "We can't always save them from themselves," Derek murmured. "Some lessons come at a cost." Roran clenched his fists. A cold weight settled on his stomach. The ruins of Varosk had taken another, just as the elders had warned. And though he had made the right choice, the night was far from over. Thank you for joining me today as we look beyond the well. What lies ahead is not just a tale, it's a journey, one that we will take together. If you're ready to step further into Aldarion, subscribe and follow Beyond the Well wherever you listen to podcasts. For even more information, visit beyondthewell.net for transcripts, notes, character descriptions, maps, and much more. And remember, sometimes the path we walk reveals more than we ever imagined. So, keep seeking, keep dreaming, and keep telling your story. Bye.